Hi and welcome to Asian Photography's YouTube channel. My name is Bhavya Desai and today is all about the R. अगर आपको याद होगा तो थोड़े टाइम पहले जो फोटो की ना 2018 का जो हमने प्रेडिक्शन वीडियो किया था उसमें हमने बताया था कि Canon is all set to launch the new full frame mirrorless camera that they want. But इसमें कोई नई बात नहीं है. Everybody online was already talking about it. But what we got right is that हमारे sources ने reveal किया था कि वो camera is donning the alphabet R. Now speculations are rife that Canon is already working on their first full-frame mirrorless camera, and they seem to be extremely tight-lipped about the fact. But if we understand and what we know from our sources, then the literature for the new camera is already basically in print, and apparently it features the word R in its logo. So this is the Canon EOS-R and this is our hands-on review of the same. So in many ways, the EOS-R actually, some might think, is Canon stepping out of its comfort zone. The reason for this is that every time I've traveled to Tokyo in the past few years, I've always questioned and asked the management as to why don't they take the mirrorless segment seriously. In fact, the last time also that we had been there, following to that year, they launched the M50, which, as you might know, is really popular amongst a lot of YouTubers and vloggers as one of the best cameras that people tend to use. But now coming back to the EOS-R, the last time that actually Canon launched something new, it was close to 1987, which is when they launched the EOS system, which is 31 years back. And that is a very long time. So at first instance, the camera actually feels quite light as compared to the 5D Mark IV for sure. But yes, it is definitely not the lightest mirrorless camera in its segment. Other cameras which basically are from Sony, Fuji and all, I think they are a lot lighter as compared to this. But it is the weight of the lens which is a lot heavier. For example, if I remove the lens and if I just hold the camera out, then it surely feels a lot lighter, lot compact, but very, very sturdy. Now what we have today here with us is basically the f50 1.2, which is a really great lens to have in your repertoire, and the maximum weight I would suggest at this point of time is actually with the lens itself. But overall, in terms of the quality is really premium. You can actually see what they've done with the camera, whether it's the build quality, whether it's the grip, it's really comfortable to hold. So ये कैमरा में सबसे पहले जब आप इसको देखेंगे तो सबसे पहले what you will see basically is its huge mount staring right at your face. अभी इसके बारे में बहुत सारे लोग ऑनलाइन भी बात कर रहे हैं कि ये माउंट इतना बड़ा लगता है और कैमरा इतना छोटा लगता है. But honestly speaking, it is the exact same mount which is 54 mm, which is there on the 5D Mark IV or even, for example, the EF mount lenses which are there. The reason why I think ये इतना बड़ा लगता है is because ये कैमरा काफ़ी छोटा है as compared to the other range of cameras like the 5D Mark IV and so on. बट एक अनोखी चीज़ इसके साथ जो कैनन ने की है वो ये है कि इसमें सिंस ये मिररलेस है और फुल फ्रेम है तो इनमें से फ्लैंज जो है वो बहुत करीब आ गया है. तो मिरर नहीं होने के कारण जो फ्लैंज डिस्टेंस है टू द सेंसर, विच इज़ बेसिकली द डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द लेंस टू एक्चुअली व्हाट द सेंसर इज जस्ट 20 mm. और ये 20 mm का डिस्टेंस जो है वो एक्चुअली उसको कैपेसिटी देता है इतना छोटा कैमरा करने की. Also मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि technically if the flange distance is lesser, there is no great benefit towards the overall quality of the pictures or the output. But yes, it does allow the manufacturer to reduce the size of the camera considerably, और Canon ने exactly यही किया इसी के साथ. So ideally when we talk about the sensor of the EOS-R is the exact same sensor that is coming in the 5D Mark IV. But naturally ये एक updated version है as compared to what the previous sensors were. Also, एक बहुत अच्छी चीज जो हमें अच्छी लगी is that this sensor comes with a little bit of protector or a hood in front of it. So for example, when you switch the camera on, the hood actually comes up, and when I switch it on, then it shuts down, which means that this will be very handy and useful when you want to change your lenses in dusty or windy condition. So one of the key features of the EOS-R is that it boasts of the world's fastest autofocus. Canon claim करता है कि इसका autofocus 0.05 seconds है, and जो हमने preliminary test किया है, it actually is surprisingly fast. But apart from this, Canon also says that this has 5,655 focus points, which genuinely is mind-boggling and has never really been heard before in the photography industry. It's difficult to say at this point of time whether all of those selectable points are there or not. और मुझे पता है कि ऑनलाइन इसके बारे में बहुत सारी चर्चा भी हुई है कि जब भी हम शूट करते हैं तो उसके अंदर हमें खाली बेसिकली स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स दिखते हैं और हमें पूरे 5,655 पॉइंट्स दिखते नहीं है. बट व्हाट वीव नोटिस्ड इज दैट जब भी आप एक्चुअली फोकस करके शूट कर रहे हैं, सो यू कैन यूज द स्क्रीन टू पिन पॉइंट ऑन ईच स्पेसिफिक पॉइंट्स दैट यू वांट टू सिलेक्ट, और उस हिसाब से ये एज तक भी जाता है. एंड जब ये शूट करके दिखाता है तो एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यू कैन लिटरली टच दैट पॉइंट एंड इट फोकसेस ओवर देयर. बट ऑफ कोर्स ये फर्स्ट हैंड रिव्यू है और फर्स्ट लुक रिव्यू है, तो हम लोग इतना डिटेल में इसके बारे में 100% नहीं बोल सकते. बट इन अ फुल रिव्यू वील बी ऑब्वियसली टेस्टिंग दिस अ लॉट एंड वील मेक श्योर दैट वी ब्रिंग यू all the important points out of those. I think what Canon is trying to do with the EOS-R is that they've launched a camera which is completely customizable as per the user. I think, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, this probably might be one of those Canon cameras which are totally customizable as per what you want. For instance, the directional keypad जो है वो customize आप कर सकते हैं, set button जो है वो customize आप कर सकते हैं, जो focus ring उसके आगे दिया है हर एक लेंस के साथ वो भी customizable है. In fact, हालांकि आप ये स्क्रीन जो है वो भी कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं. So there are loads of options, and I think the strategy of Canon in this case is probably to provide a user with whatever they really want in terms of the shooting experience. Now, I'm not sure if it actually has the input settings as profiles. कि for example, अगर ये कैमरा आप किसी के साथ शूट कर रहे हो, so say for example अगर आप वेडिंग फोटोग्राफर हो और आपके टीम के पास ये कैमरा है और आज मैं ये कैमरा यूज कर रहा हूँ और इसको शूट करके अगर कल किसी और वेडिंग के लिए कोई और शूट करने वाला है, तो अगर आप प्रोफाइल सेट करो तो वो प्रोफाइल सेट करने पे आपको साथ में ऑटोमेटिकली वो पूरे प्रेफरेंसेस आ जाएंगे. आई एम नॉट रियली श्योर अबाउट दैट, बट वो भी हम पूरे फुल रिव्यू में हमारे डेफिनेटली देखेंगे. सो बाय फार वन ऑफ द कूलेस्ट फीचर्स दैट वी फाउंड अबाउट दिस कैमरा इज द बैक टच पैनल और टच सेंसर, व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू कॉल इट. नाउ आई नो that a lot of people have been talking about this touch sensor being extremely irritating and rigid when practically you're shooting. So don't get me wrong, when I say that we really found this a cool feature is because this actually is innovating in the photography industry. If you remember, हमने हमारे predictions और trends video जो हमने January में 2018 में किया था, where I had mentioned that a lot of the cameras in the 2018 and from now onwards will start coming with touch sensors and voice assistance. So in fact, ये one of those first cameras है जो हमें इसके साथ में दिख रहा है.
Now the fifth thing which we feel will really become big is voice assistance, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Now naturally this might be a little far-fetched when it comes to the photography products or the imaging devices, but we feel at some point of time there is going to be a certain amount of confluence or merging of wherever the smart devices are today and where we are with the camera.
And yes, practically इसकी positioning थोड़ी funny है and it could have been better, but overall it's a welcome change which we really love. But while we've been shooting a little bit with it, the thumb really rests over here, and I wish that next time Canon जब ये upgrade या कुछ next product निकालेगा तो शायद उसकी पोजीशनिंग थोड़ी चेंज कर दे. सो अगर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्यू फाइंडर की हम बात करें तो इसमें 0.76x का मैग्निफिकेशन है एंड द रेजोल्यूशन इज 3.69 मिलियन डॉट्स, व्हिच इज फेयरली हाई. I think in the industry at this point of time, if I'm not mistaken, only the A7R III, which is Sony, provides the same amount of resolution. All the other ones basically which have been launched almost a year back, they usually tend to provide anything between 2.3 million pixels in terms of resolution. Of course, ये काफी बड़ा भी है. That's what I noticed as well, that when you look into the electronic viewfinder, the coverage area is actually quite big. It's very comfortable when you look into it. Naturally, being an electronic viewfinder, it will never really reproduce the colors accurately of what actual scenes are. But anybody who's using a mirrorless camera should be pretty used to it right now, because what you see in the EVF is not exactly what obviously the camera captures, because it really captures true to the scene. So from that perspective, I think it's pretty decent. So the positioning of the EOS-R basically that Canon has done is also targeted towards people who are looking to shoot a lot of videos and films. Now, while all of that in terms of thought process is great, this is what I find really funny about Canon sometimes. क्योंकि Canon अच्छा कैमरा जब भी बनाता है या कुछ भी करता है, तो in terms of features, थोड़े features बहुत अच्छे देता है, but in some cases वो features थोड़े hold back भी कर लेता है. For example, now the EOS-R actually shoots 4K with a 1.7x crop factor. Also, it shoots this at 30 frames per second. Comparatively, at 60 frames per second is what you can shoot Full HD, and if you go to 120 frames per second, that's where you get it at 720p. Now, you might be wondering that why is there an issue with this? The problem is that both the 5D Mark IV and the M50 basically have the exact same specs when it comes to video. And those are cameras which have been in the market for quite some time. And this is where I find certain things about Canon real funny. But what's good about the EOS-R is that it now comes pre-installed with the Canon log file, which means it can shoot 4:2:2 bit, 10-bit videos in a cinematic way on an external drive, which earlier was always charge extra for $100 upgrade. So this might be something which the consumers might find a little challenging. इसके लिए क्योंकि बहुत सारे जो ये कैटेगरी में मिररलेस कैमरास हैं, वो कैमरास ऑलरेडी इससे हायर स्पेक्स के वीडियोस ऑफर करते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ द स्पेक्स. सो इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि ये पार्ट में कैनन ने थोड़ा सा कम फीचर्स ऑफर किए हैं एज कंपेयर टू द अदर players in this category. Now, one of the biggest gambles that I feel Canon is taking basically is that the EOS-R does not feature or offer any in-body image stabilization. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि Canon इस डिपार्टमेंट में बहुत बड़ा गैम्बल ले रहा है. Of course, जो भी लेंस उन्होंने लॉन्च की है, जो 4 लेंसेज इसके साथ में लॉन्च की है, वो सब IS इमेज स्टेबलाइजेशन ऑफर करती है, इंक्लूडिंग जब आप एडेप्टर भी यूज करोगे इसके साथ में, तो एडेप्टर जो आपको EF माउंट की लेंसेज देगी, मोस्ट ऑफ दोज लेंसेज ऑल्सो हैव इमेज स्टेबलाइजेशन. बट इफ यू टेक दिस कैटेगरी, तो चाहे आप कैमराज ले लो फूजी से, निकॉन से या सोनी से या किसी से भी, दे ऑल ऑफर इमेज स्टेबलाइजेशन, इन बॉडी इमेज स्टेबलाइजेशन, जो EOS-R में थोड़ा मिसिंग है. और मुझे लगता है कि Canon वहां पे थोड़ा सा एक स्टेप मिस कर गया. सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ द परफॉर्मेंस और द इमेज क्वालिटी दैट वी टेस्टेड, of course, bear in mind that we didn't really have that much time with the camera and we've only been playing around with it probably for a day. But we found that the image quality was quite crisp, quite sharp. The color reproduction was quite accurate. The saturation was quite nice. Of course, if you are a wedding photographer, तो आपको ये काफ़ी काम भी आ सकता है, because ये highlighted भी है थोड़े low light performance के लिए, जो काफ़ी अच्छा था. शैडोज और हाईलाइट्स के डिपार्टमेंट में हम अभी ये टाइम पे आपको इतना नहीं बता सकते, बिकॉज वी वांट टू टेस्ट द कैमरा टू मच मोर डिटेल इन ऑर्डर टू गिव यू दैट इन डेप्थ रिव्यू. बट इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑटो फोकस ट्रैकिंग, और अगर आपको कैंडिड मोमेंट्स कोई कपल के या वेडिंग्स में अगर आपको कैप्चर करने हैं, सो दिस एक्चुअली इज अ वेरी गुड कैमरा, बिकॉज एज मेंशन्ड बिफोर एज वेल कि इसका ऑटो फोकस ट्रैकिंग बहुत ही अच्छा चलता है. Even before you move, it already starts to understand where you're going and brings that subject or brings that point into focus pretty well. So my initial thoughts about the Canon EOS-R for the limited time that we've been playing around with it are very mixed. The reason is that when you come to the party late, then you really need to offer something to the consumer which is genuinely breathtaking. But in case of Canon, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि there is more than what meets the eye. I think they are adopting a completely different strategy, and my belief is that there are two reasons for this. Number one is that I think they know that at some point of time in the next 5 to 6 years, much like the point and shoot system, the DSLRs will also tend to become redundant, which means it's a great time to offer a mirrorless option to a lot of the consumers. Especially आप सारे लोग जिन लोगों ने इतने सारे lenses में भी invest किया होगा. Of course, आगे चलते already इतने सालों में जो हम देखते आ रहे हैं कि बहुत सारे mirrorless cameras का performance continuously better और better होते जा रहा है, which in many ways has started challenging DSLRs in terms of quality as well. So that's why I think Canon essentially does not really want people to move away from their products and at the same time offer something new so that moving forward they're able to develop this range by watching what everybody else has done. So the product basically is priced at 1,89,000 approximately for body only, and this is very important in a price sensitive market like India. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि प्रोडक्ट का जो पोजीशनिंग है इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्राइस वो एक्चुअली काफी अच्छा है, बट एक जगह पे जहां पे कैनन लिमिट हो सकता है इज दैट लॉट ऑफ द अदर मैन्युफैक्चरर्स लाइक Sonys and your Fujis, they've already been in this segment for a number of years, which means they have a very wide portfolio as compared to Canon. In fact, Nikon also, who have just recently launched their Z6 and Z7, they also have offered two different products so that consumers have that option. So maybe in this case, Canon could possibly find it slightly challenging to break through when it comes to the consumer's mind, since a consumer who wants to really invest into a Canon mirrorless body, a full frame mirrorless body, will ideally have only one product to choose from.
So overall, the camera looks pretty good at first instance. It seems like an overall decent performer. But when it comes to the mirrorless category, is it the best camera yet? Definitely not. But is it a very good start? Definitely yes. So we surely look forward to what Canon has to offer in the coming years, but the EOS-R is surely a good start for the manufacturer.
But that has been our overall initial thoughts about the Canon EOS-R. Of course, if you like this video, then please make sure that you like, share and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want to read, we'll be doing a full review and featuring a full review of this camera very soon, both in our magazine as well, Asian Photography, plus on our website asianphotographyindia.com. So do tune in and make sure that you catch all of that. And until next time, happy viewing.